Let's talk about the potentially explosive energy this week, the 15th through the 21st. I'm Tamara Childs, and I'm here for a video weekly energy update to talk about these energies. So, the first thing we have is Jupiter moving into Taurus. And what this is going to do is square where you have Pluto. So this is a volcanic week. So look at the sector of your chart that has Aquarius. And this is where you're going to be making the deepest, most subtle, this is like where you become the phoenix, like you become, you really change from the inside out over the next 20-year transit. So there's a lot of pressure this week on that particular sector. So wherever you have Aquarius, and especially if you are a fixed sign, if you have planets in Aquarius, especially the early degrees of Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, or Leo, you are going to be feeling this like, whoa, like who moved my food dish? This is intense kind of a feeling. But you're already aware there's a need for a very deep change in this sector of your chart. So if you know where you have Aquarius, that is where there's inevitable change going on. And so when Jupiter moves into Taurus, this is an expanding agent. This is like fuel to the fire kind of energy. And so this is going to be for the next year, but there's whenever a planet moves into a new sign, there's this pop of awareness and energy, and oh my goodness, this is happening, and it's happening here, and this is really in my face, and it's getting bigger. That's kind of how I see this exchange. So this is let me talk about the other thing that's happening, and then we'll just try to put it all together and see what we can do with this energy. So a few days later, we're going to have an opposition between Mars and Pluto. Mars is an energy that's like, it's like a punch, it's aggression, it's will, it's ego, it's I want what I want when I want it now, and you better give it to me. It's an aggressive energy. And so when it's opposing Pluto, there's a lot of like power struggle energy here. There's fixed energy because all three of these signs in this basically high tension wire T square formation are saying like, I won't budge, like it has to be my way. And so the place where you're going to feel the most impacted is where you have Pluto, because you're going to have Mars coming at Pluto and you're going to have Jupiter coming at Pluto. So, and there's this lack of compromise kind of energy, and there's this highly emotionalized acting, very impulsively, possibly because it's at the 29th degree. So this is definitely a week where if something happens that seems like it's blowing something out of the water or blowing something up in an area of your life where you've already been making some change and going through this sense of like psychological transformation, which is what Pluto does to wherever it is in our chart, somewhere it is deeply changing you in the same way as like an iron worker puts the iron in the fire and melts it. It's a very volcanic, it's a molten hot kind of something's melting and changing you from one state into another, a higher evolutionary state. So a more evolved version, a step up. Yeah, it's you're upgrading yourself. It's not easy because there's a part of us, and it's the ego part, that just doesn't like, who moved my food dish? Don't change this on me. I'm not ready. I don't want to do it. I'm going to stick my head in the sand. But I think this is a week where we can't ignore the energy. We have to embody what the transformation is asking for. Since I'm not looking at your chart right now, I can't tell you exactly what that is. It depends on where, where you have planets at these degrees. And I forgot to mention, if you're like 27, 28, 29 of the cardinal signs, Cancer, Capricorn, Libra, or Aries, you're also going to feel this interesting, sort of explosively emotional, I'm going to throw a punch kind of energy. So, I think that sometimes when we have so we've got all of these strong energies in these signs, and we have to look a little bit to where we have just been letting go, and that's in the Scorpio sector. So we've just had a lunar eclipse in that area, and remember that Scorpio is the sign that really wants to transform completely from the inside out, go to the darkest depths, and then find the light and let go of all the pain and just go to a higher level. So I am speaking in very psychological terms. For those of you who follow me, you know that I help people understand how they're wired psychologically through astrology, and change some of the patterns that are holding you back, or that feel like they are causing overwhelm or crash and burn symptoms, especially if you're highly sensitive. And so, it's only the people who are really on that transformational personal growth path that are going to be interested in a video like this, because the rest of the world is like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this. But the funny thing is, whether or not we embrace the change consciously, it's still going to happen anyway. So one of the things I always say is, regardless of how you're seeing your process this week, just remember every other person you know is under the same aspects. And it's, applying pressure in slightly different pressure points in each person. So everyone is experiencing this, this pressure. This is a pressure week. This is a week where maybe you're fine in your little cubicle, but you're seeing somebody freaking out over there, or you're seeing a coworker doing this or that. And this is about taking a pause, looking at, well, who am I really being? And who is that part of me that is changing my identity? What's the highest level I can take this week? And not hide from what's happening, but show up as that highest version of myself. And I feel like it almost sounds like it's said too much that we talk about that, but this is really what Pluto is about. It's about the embodiment of the highest level that you can get to right now in who you are. And that changes the outcomes of these situations that can be like volcanic and hot. So it's a very hot week. I would love to know how this is for you. You can sign up for my weekly updates at my website, tamarachilds.com. I'd love to have you just check out, let me know how you're doing with these changes. And with this week's energy, what are you experiencing? I would love to know that. Have a great week. I will talk to you soon.